Hey, you guys, welcome to Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. This is your host, Iggy, and today we're going to try something different. I'm not a Hot Wheels collector per se, but when I was a boy, I remember getting Hot Wheels for my birthday back in 1968, and I had always wanted this carrying case, but I never got it. Now, I did get a carrying case that was unlicensed that was oblong in shape and simply said collector cars. And it wasn't as cool as this one. Now, this case was manufactured by Mattel. And my friend Doug, his father, worked at a company that subcontracted for Mattel. And his dad brought home a bunch of these that were test shots. So I don't know if they had the stickers on them or not, or if they were painted, but he and his brother got some of these before all the other kids did because of his dad's involvement in the industry. His dad was a German immigrant via Canada. He first went to Canada after World War II, and then from Canada, where he met his wife, they moved to Southern California, and his father was involved in various companies such as Aurora and Mattel and others. Um, his father had a great deal of talent. As you know, mold making is a precise uh, occupation and takes some skill. Not just some skill, a lot of skill. Anyway, so Doug and his brother were the first to get these carrying cases. I always wanted one, didn't get one. So I bought this online some time ago, and it's in fairly poor condition. It's not what I would consider collector grade. As you can see here, it's very dirty. You see like things like this. It's damaged, and it's got gook on it, and uh, goop, I mean, and it's very dirty. I'll show you the interior. Interior? What's an interior? Let's open it up and take a look, okay? I can't see what I'm doing here. It's under the strap. Here we are. And you see that's a lot of dirt in there. And there's supposed to be a sticker over here that's missing. And then, yeah, I'll show you the interior. How many cars did this hold? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there's a sticker on the back that is also missing. If you guys have a Star Wars Darth Vader collector case, you'll notice that this is very similar. The aged patina, it's scuffed up and dirty, and that's what the Darth Vader carrying case looks like after enough time has passed. My ambition is to clean this up with some Armor All, and then after I clean it up, I plan to put some new stickers on it. I almost hesitate to tell you how much these stickers cost me. There's one for the front, this one here, and that's going to go in here like that. And then there's one that goes on the inside that features the car. Now, I had some of these cars here. I remember the only two that I remember distinctly, I mean vividly, is this one here. That was my favorite one that they came out with in the Red Line series. And then I also had this one, and I'm not sure why, but I seem to remember this with a surfboard on the back. And then I think I had the Cougar or the Camaro or whatever it was here. I don't see it on here, but Those were the first 12 cars they came out with. Now you can see here that the paint job, where it says Hot Wheels and Super Rally case, the paint is a little worn. See, this one is supposed to say "By Mattel," but it looks like it says "Hi Mattel." Now, I don't want to get into this too much because there's guys out there that are absolute experts on uh, Mattel Hot Wheels, and they personally own thousands and thousands of them. They have rarities, they have extremely expensive ones, which are usually the rarities. That's true of any item, I guess, in the collector world. The more rare it is, the more expensive it is. I have a few here that I bought. Um, if you are a Hot Wheel collector, the only probably advice I could offer is an observation. And as a cashier at a store, I know that when new Hot Wheels cars come in, they put them in all the cashier lanes and they lower them so that kids can see them. And inevitably, kids will start crying and screaming, "I want a Hot Wheel car," and mom will get it because, it's not very expensive. So if you're looking for a car, you might want to try the cashier lanes before you go back to the toy department. Like I said, I have 5 cars. I have a classic Packard, which is a pretty neat looking car. I wouldn't mind having one of these. I mean, not in this scale, but I mean like a regular car that Iggy could sit in. So that's the Packard. What is this car? 1932? I'm not sure. What does it say? Does it give that information? This car was released in 1997. I bought it at a flea market. And I think it was $3 at the flea market. And the other cars I have were $1. This one is a 1941 Willys Coupe, which is very cool. I would love to have a black one like this, but I wouldn't have it lowered. I would just have it a regular stock. And I wouldn't have that. What is that called, guys, on the top? Is that a manifold, or what is that called? I'm not a car guy, so I don't know for certain. And when did this come out? I'm not sure. 2009. Then this one is a muscle car. I think it's a T-Bird. It doesn't say, does it? 1963 T-Bird. I remember the kid up the street, Greg. God, that's kind of blurry. Sorry. His mom always wore a bikini and drove with the top, not her top. That would be a sensation, but top of their car was a convertible T-Bird, and she was always wearing a swimsuit. I remember, and always sitting by the pool. Every time I went over to Greg's house, she was sitting by the pool, smoking and drinking a martini or something. I think his father worked in the aerospace business. In fact, after the moon landing, all the families, you could hear families yelling as you walk down the street because Rocketdyne, which was near our neighborhood was probably built to house Rocketdyne employees. They all started losing their jobs, and you know what happens when somebody loses their job in the family. There's a lot of stress and yelling, followed by divorce, because there's a lot of acrimony. This one is called the Blue Streak, and it is what? Does it say what kind of car it is? Oh, it's an Oldsmobile. An Olds 442. That's a pretty cool looking car, isn't it? I wouldn't mind having that one either. The fifth car I have is, I don't have it here right now. It's a 1966 Batmobile. You know, the Adam West Batmobile. I love this little cartoon character. Sorry, it's not focusing. Uh, Hasbro Toys also had a little figure similar to that. But if you're interested in Hot Wheels, there's guys doing channels out there that are really into it. I guess what you'd call a layman. Now, I was one of the kids who got the first uh, Hot Wheels. There is one problem, though. I remember distinctly getting Hot Wheels for my birthday, but there's a problem with that recollection. Hot Wheels was released on May 18th, 1968, and my birthday was May 10th. So I can't understand the discrepancy. Did I get these Hot Wheels after my birthday? But for some reason, I remember getting them for my birthday. So I don't know why that is. I also got some orange track, and it came with like a clamp, and you would hook it to a chair or a table or whatever, and then you'd put your car on it. Like, the only thing I didn't like about it is, which Mattel would fix later, is, you know, after you put your car in the ramp, you had to get up and go get your car. Well, eventually Mattel introduced a loop and a banked turn so the car would come back to you. And that was more fun than having to get up every time. And I showed you the stickers. Those, I can't tell you how much those were. It was the same price I paid for this. Can you believe it? Anyway, nostalgia makes you do stupid things, I guess. At least it does for Iggy. But I always wanted one of these, and I have one. Most of the toys I present to you are things that I bought in the 80s and 90s because I never got them as a kid. My mom and dad were children in the, well, my dad was a teenager by the time the 1930s came, but my mom was a child during the 1920s, and they just didn't have money for toys and things. So it just wasn't an important part of their life like it was for me. Toys became huge in the 1950s because plastics became the thing. Do you remember, what was the movie? Mrs. Robinson, I think. And he tells the guy, plastics, that's the future, plastics. And that was probably true. This is white, but they did make one of these red with the red line. And these have they have nothing on the wheels. I like those fat wheels on the Willys. Look, you see that? The size of those things, that's awesome. When we were kids, we called those slicks. And we had them on our bicycles on the rear tire. And I remember when I bought mine at well, I didn't buy it, my dad did. He took me to the bike shop, and I said, oh, that's the tire I want for my bike. And my dad got upset. He said, why would you want that? It's not going to have any traction. And he couldn't understand why he didn't want the one that was more knobby. But all the kids had these on their Stingrays. I didn't have a Schwinn Stingray. I had a Huffy, but it looked like a Stingray. In fact, my bike, now that I look back on it, was really nice. But the kids teased me because it wasn't a Schwinn. So they're always calling me names and saying my bike was ugly. And so I started to hate my bike. And now I look back on it, I wish I had that bike still. Because I think I was teased because my bike looked so good. I had a really large sissy bar on the back. Do you remember those? And a banana seat. It was purple with the glitter inside the plastic. It was really cool. Had the monkey bars, not monkey bars, the chopper. They looked like chopper for steering. It was an awesome bike, and I'm sorry I don't have it. I think my parents sold it at a garage sale, or it was stolen or something. Something happened to it. I just don't have it. Anyway, that's all I got for you. This was a different excursion, a departure, if you will, from what I normally do. Normally, I do a lot of toy soldiers and GI Joes and tanks and things like that. That's my true love. My first love as a boy was toy soldiers, then GI Joe, and then I went to Hot Wheels and HO slot cars. I had a Tyco slot car set. And I think, did I mention Rocco Mini Tanks? Those were the last toys that I had before I was told I was too old for that. And then I started buying records. And I grew my hair out. Everyone in my high school thought I was into drugs and pot and all that, which I never was, because I had long hair and I talked like I was really, really stupid. I guess maybe I am really, really stupid, but I would talk like that. I would say, like, "Hey, man, how's it going, man? That's cool. I can dig it." And I'm like, I want to go back in time and slap myself and give myself a haircut. Although I wouldn't mind having long hair now. What I would do now is I would pull it back and tie a black ribbon so that I could do a Revolutionary War impression. Maybe a British officer. I'm too. I think I'm too infatuated with British uniforms and things. And there's a fella in Russia right now going, "What do you mean? What is wrong with Soviet?" Nothing. I wouldn't mind having that too. In fact, I'd like to have a T-34 tank. That would be awesome. Do you guys notice that the Russians make a lot of really cool World War II movies? And they're cool because they have really good battle sequences and they use real armor vehicles. Like you'll see a Panzer IV or a Hetzer or whatever it might be. They got the real deal. Okay, guys, that's all I've got for you. I hope you enjoyed this slight diversion. And I think my next video will be the last of the things that I brought out of storage. And that's going to be two Star Wars AT-ATs. I used to have 4 of them, but now I only have 3 left. I had an original. Oh, I used to have 5. But I sold an original one. So I'll do that. I also have a unlicensed GI Joe. It's called Combat Joe, I think, or Combat Man, and it's a unique styled carrying case that I look forward to showing you. Okay, guys, that's it for now. This is Iggy saying thank you for getting Iggy with it. If you haven't done so, hit that subscription. My mouth is really dry and I can't, I'm not able to talk, which is probably a great relief to many of you. What was I saying? Oh, the subscribe. I'm really falling behind in that. I was hoping to be at 1,000 by the end of the year, but I don't know, guys. Some of you don't care for what I'm doing, I guess. Anyway, did I mention anything about the Mattel company? I'm sure that there's guys out there who know a great more than I do. I do remember as a boy, we would drive by the Mattel company headquarters in Hawthorne, California, because my dad was a Sea Explorer skipper. So he was a scout leader for the Sea Explorers. And they had a boat that was docked down at Fish Harbor, which smelled exactly like its name. It was, oh God, it was awful. I hated going there. But they had a free berth that was donated to the Sea Explorers. And they had an old Navy, what did they call it? A skiff? It's what they would transport the captain to shore with, or other officers. And they had those on the larger capital ships during World War II. It was actually a World War II vessel. So the only thing that kept it afloat was layers of paint. But there was a guy that bought an old Navy destroyer, and he was turning it into a luxury yacht. A luxury yacht? Everyone wants a luxury yacht. A luxury yacht. And he, ever since I can remember, he was working on that thing. And I don't know if he ever finished it. Maybe he died before he finished it. I don't know. But he painted it white and was redoing all of it. But that was kind of fun to see his progress. I think he was retired and was working on it 24/7 practically. So we would pass the Hawthorne headquarters. Now in 1991, Mattel sold that building, and they moved up the street, or down the street, however you say it, to El Segundo. And they built, it's near the Los Angeles airport. And they built a huge building, a very modern sort of skyscraper kind of thing. And it had a really nice toy store in the lobby. I remember taking my ex-wife there to buy a Czechoslovakian Barbie, which was extremely hard to find. And I called them up, and they had it, so I drove her down there, and she got it. The reason she wanted it is her grandparents were from Slovakia. Her grandfather actually served in the Austro-Hungarian army during World War I, because that area was part of the Austrian Empire at that time. Oh my gosh, I need some Orange Crush. I'm really thirsty. Okay, so hit the notification bell too, so you can keep track of what I'm up to. And your likes are always appreciated. I like to gauge how I'm doing. So far, I don't think I'm doing too good. It takes like a week to get one sub, and then they drop me when they find out that, oh, well, I wanted Hot Wheels, and all he's got is toy soldiers. Well, that's not true, but mostly toy soldiers. Anyway, I'm sorry to blabber on about that so much. Self-advertising is embarrassing to me. Okay, so that's it, guys. I want to thank you for getting Iggy with it. I thank you for enlisting in the Iggy Army, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.